Hello and welcome to another Command and Colours Napoleonics session, another solo. This is part 2, the Battle of Bussaco. This is Ney's Assault, 27th of September 1810. This was when Marshal Ney attacked the British and Portuguese line. A lot of French infantry in this one, tons of them in fact. There's barely any cavalry in this and hardly any artillery as well. So the Brits, or should I say Allies, have got one cannon, one set of one battery. They've also got heavy cavalry over here, hiding behind the hills. The French, they've got 2 batteries here and 2 light cavalry down here, which are stuck behind these woods. So they're probably not going to be a great deal of use. But let's get it set up here. Well, it is set up. Let's get this game on the go. The French move first, and let's see who wins. So this one is the first to 7 victory banners. So the French have got coordinated advance, assault right flank, probe the left flank, probe the right flank, and rally. Rally is relatively useless at the moment because that just puts troops back together in damaged units. So I think coordinated advance might be the best. Either that or assault right flank. I think assault right flank's a bit, I'm going to leave that for a bit because there's a lot of forest on that right flank. But we could maybe get some of these units out, get them ready. I think, yeah, let's go with assault the right flank. We'll use it up. We'll come back to a coordinated advance. So that is 5 units on the right flank. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units on the right flank. So let's just get these moving forward. Move these up into the tree. They only move 1 anyway, the infantry, so we'll move those up. Same with these, keep them in cover. If I do this, you see, at least I can probably get these, bring some of these cavalry out so they're a bit more useful in the future. Let's bring these forward there, just then, still just out of range of the Portuguese light over there. And these cavalry can move up to 3, 1, 2. Now if I were to put them there, they would take fire from the Portuguese, so I'm not going to. I'm just going to bring them here so they're ready to move out into the open. In fact, actually, you know what? I'll bring these ones here, and then they're past the trees themselves. And these ones 1, 2, 3 to here, so they're not then blocked in by that tree line. So they can get up there if they need to. No firing. Everything's out of range. Yes, so the closest is these. They're over two hexes away, so there's no firing. So that's the French turn done. So British first turn. They have 6 cards compared to the French. Give them the cold steel. Leadership, Elan, attack left flank, probe right flank, and attack centre. Well, the British are in pretty good positions at the moment, but then having said that, we could maybe attack centre just to get some of these into better positions. For instance, these guys are right in the open, so it might be worthwhile getting these shifted into these buildings here. Well, give them cold steel is only units that are adjacent, so there's none of those anyway. The leadership is for all units with a leader, and there's only 2 British leaders in this, so a British and a Portuguese, so that's relatively wasteful at the moment. Elan would be, we roll 6 dice and then we activate a unit of that type. We'll hang on to that one, I think. Left flank, again, there's not a great deal I want them to do on the left flank. They're already in good position, so it would just be a case of maybe some of those line moving forward, but there's not much point doing that. And then we've got probe right flank. Kind of want to hang on to the left flank one just in case. I'm kind of thinking of attacking the centre just because I can then get this unit here into a better position, and also maybe bring forward some of these Portuguese at the back as well, get them into better positions. So we'll do that. We've got 3. First one's 1, 2, 3. We actually can fire up to 3 squares with the British rifles. They have a 3 square range, I believe, so they could just stand still and they could fire at these guys here. So that'll be the second unit. The third unit will be bring forward this Portuguese line. So they're now lining the front of that, the front of the hills over there. So yes, and then the rifles will fire. They get 1 extra dice for firing. There's no minuses for firing out of the buildings. Firing at the French in the open. So that's 1 hit and 2 retreats. They are supported by 2 units, so they can ignore at least one of those retreats. But the other one takes effect, so they will fall back to here. And that is the British turn. And back with the French. So we've got rally, as we had before. Probe the right flank, coordinated advance, probe the left flank, and forward, which is 2 units in each area. That might be a useful one to have. Yes, let's go with forward. That gives us the best options, I think. So we'll move these into there, and then they will fire at those British lights there. So that's 1 from this section. Potentially 1, 2, 3, 4 could use the artillery to also fire as well as part of a combined arms move. Or combined arms attack, but no, you know, I'm going to move these ones forward. They move forward, they can't fire at anything. We have this unit, I'm going to move these forward, they will also fire. And these are firing at half strength into that town. It's going to be only rolling 1 dice for both of these, but they may be able to do something. I don't want to attack the infantry in the woods because they're just going to get absolutely hammered with the cavalry. So I'll move 2 from there, 1 from here so far. I think we should, let's start making some advances forward, I think. Let's get these up. And then I want the 2 infantry units, they want to come forward. If they fire, they will be firing at half, -1 firing uphill, so they will be able to fire at them as well. So we'll do our firing. We're not expecting greatness out of this. So we've got these guys firing with 2, halves down to 1. So there's 2 of these. So the first one is a retreat. I believe they can ignore that if they're in a town. Let me just check on that. Actually, I got that completely wrong. They're firing into a town. They -2 off their dice, so they don't actually get any dice to throw. Firing into woods is a -1, so they can't fire at them. So over here instead we've got the French are firing into that wood, and firing into the wood is a -1, so that's down to 1 dice. So that's 1 hit. Portuguese light. And then same again over here, these both are firing uphill, so they're both -1 dice off each, so I'm just going to roll them together. No, actually I'll roll them 1 at a time in case they're forced to retreat. First one is a hit, second one is a miss, that's a cannon. So that's the end of that French turn. Right, Britain. So we have probe the right flank, attack the left flank, elan, leadership, give them cold steel, and attack right flank. Again, we're not in a great position really to do a great deal here. We wanted something in the centre more than anything else. We could perhaps use up this elan. There's always the left flank. They could fire down at these ones in the woods, and maybe move forward some of these other units in the back. I think that's probably best. Yes, attack the left flank I think is probably the best one at the moment. So the Portuguese line will fire down. These will move forward. Let's take up positions on that hill. They will then fire into those woods. We said with a -1, didn't we? Yeah, firing into woods is -1. So they can do that. And then the other unit will be this line. Bring these forward, strengthen that rear position as well. So we've got Portuguese line. They're rolling 3 dice. They're firing into woods, -1. So that's a sabre, does nothing, and a flag, that's a retreat. And so that forces them back. And then we've got the British line. They're firing with 2 because they moved, but they -1 because they're firing into woods. That's a cavalry, so that's nothing. So that's a British turnover. And France, La Belle Francais, probe the left flank, probe the right flank, coordinated advance, rally, and scout the left flank. Well, none of these are particularly great for what they want to do at the moment. Maybe coordinated advance to do some firing at some of these units. I think that's probably the best one. Let's go with that. So we've got the coordinated advances, 2 dice, 2 in the middle. So we'll move these in to attack those in the woods. Move these forward to attack these in the town. So that's the 2 in the centre. The one on the flank will be these guys. They're going to fire at those before the attack goes in. And then over here, the one on their own will be these firing up at the Portuguese. So we'll start with those. They start with a 4. Do they get a +1? Yes, they get a +1 because they're light infantry, but they're firing uphill. It's a -1, so they're firing 4 dice. So that's 1 kill and a retreat. So they fall back because they're not supported. I've made mistakes in previous videos, as was pointed out. We have the line infantry attacking in. They get 5 because they attack heavily in melee, but -1 because they're attacking into woods. If they do battle back, the Portuguese light infantry, they will get just 1 block. 1 per block, sorry. So that's 2 kills and a retreat, but there are no more in there, so that's them killed, and the first flag goes to the French. First of 7. They can follow up, so they will get them into that safe wood. And over here we've got these guys firing 5, but they're firing into the town, so we -2, so they're rolling 3, and that's 2 kills. That's exactly what they needed. And the attack that's going in, they're attacking only with 2 dice because they only attack with 2 rather than firing with 2, and that's nothing. So the rifles get to battle back, and they are fighting back with 1 dice. That's a retreat, so that's pushed them back, but really badly damaged that rifle unit there. And the Brits, so we've got probe the right flank, elan, leadership, give them cold steel, attack right flank, and flank attack. Ooh, this is not great because, well, the flanks are not too bad. If these were left flank ones, it would be, that's kind of what they need at the moment. They don't really need much else. May use elan to do some firing, or maybe even just to move something forward. It's all a bit, I think flank attack is probably best, so we'll do that. We'll activate the line, let's move them back into the windmill back there, and then these guys will fire. They will fire at the line infantry in front of them, light infantry in front of them, and on this flank I haven't got a great deal of things they can do, but we can move these out. We'll bring the heavy cavalry out at least to sit there and look menacing, and then also bring forward the Portuguese line to add some support to that, to the units that are already there, and neaten those up as well. So we've got the line infantry firing, so they're starting with a 4, they're firing in combat, so they get +1, -1 firing into the wood. Let me just check that. Firing into, yes, -1. So that's 1 kill and 2 retreats. 1, 2. That's now pushed all the way back to there. And that's the British turn done. So let's have a look at the French. They have that probe the left flank, probe the right flank, scout the left flank, rally, and probe centre. So a lot of probing going on. Probe centre is going to be the best, I think. They can coordinate their fire against the unit in there. Neither of those are moved, so they should be able to get, hopefully destroy it this turn and get another victory marker if they can. So the first ones are firing. Firing into the town is a -2, but they start with a 5 because they get their blocks, +1 because they're in range fire, -2. So they're rolling. So that's a kill and a retreat. So that's them off. So that is, yes, another French victory banner. So that's pretty good. And their second one, they had activated those. They can't fire, they're just out of line of sight of those. If they were just over, they would have been able to fire at them, but they can't, so they won't. So that's the French turn. And let's see what the British can do. Give them cold steel, attack the right flank, leadership, elan, probe the right flank, and attack the right flank. So again, everything is on the right flank, which is just not really what we need. They need something else. We could always go with the elan, but I'm not really sure what it would do. The left flank is what they're really wanting. Yeah, let's go with elan. Let's get it out of our hand anyway. So roll battle dice equal to the command. Command dice, command number of cards in your hand, including this one. For each symbol roll, 1 unit of that type is activated. So hoping for infantry. There we go, 5 infantry and a cavalry. That's pretty good actually. So we can do a little bit of manoeuvring with these then. But I'm not entirely sure what. Well, let's bring forward this light infantry, and then they can fire at the French in the woods. Well, actually, if I bring them there, they can fire at them, and then I can bring this unit forward, and they can also fire at them. Obviously, at reduced power, but at least they can do that. So that's 2 of them used up. And then we've got, we can activate them to fire at them as well. So that's another one used up. We've got the cavalry. Let's bring the cavalry down here again, just to threaten these French. Do something with them. So that's that done. Got 2 more infantry units we can I can spend some money on, or some let's have a think about this. Let's bring forward the Grenadier Guards over here. Move them to here. As a defender, that wasn't I mean, it was a great role, but it wasn't a particularly good role for a defender. That's the kind of thing you want for an attacker, really, rather than anything else. Don't want to move them forward because I don't want to get them shot up again like the rifles did. No, I wasn't anyway. So that's it. That's all they're going to do. So we've got some firing. Let's have a look. They would get a +1. So that's pretty good. They do get a +1 for every attack that they do in this turn. So that is going to be pretty useful. Again, firing into those woods is just a -1. So we've got they are starting with 6. When they're firing, they get a +1 for their firing. -1, half hit because they moved, and then -1 for firing into the woods. But then they get the +1 because they're firing with their elan. So let's give that a go. So that's 1 hit. Then over there we've got the 2. They have halved it to 2. They're firing into woods -1, but then they get a +1 because they've got elan, so they're firing with 2 this time. So that's another French hit. And then we've got these guys over here. They're normally firing, well, they haven't moved, so they're actually firing 6. Oh no, they're just out of range, aren't they? I didn't realise that. So there's nothing else they can do. So at least that's caused 2 French casualties, if nothing else. Rightio, here we are again. So we've got the rally. Scout the left flank, probe the left flank, probe the right flank, and then short supply. 1 enemy or friendly unit is out of supply. Remove them and put them on the baseline hex. So that you could basically just retreat something. I mean, that would work with those just to get them out of there. But they're okay at the moment. So it's either going to be a probe the left or probe the right, I think. And I think at this stage, we could always rally. Always attempt to rally and get some of these units back up to strength. But there's only been 2 knocked down, so I'm going to wait, I'm going to leave that. And I'm going to probe the... Oh, this is a tough one. I've got that cavalry over there, which is a bit worrying. Let's probe the right flank. Push forward some of these units over here, I think. So these will move forward and fire up that hill. And let's just get some of these shifted forward. Okay, so we've got these firing up the hill. They're half in the dice, -1, so just 1 dice. But that is a hit, so not so bad. That took a bit of working out, didn't it? Okay, let's see what the British can do. Give them cold steel, attack the right flank, leadership, probe the right flank, attack the right flank, and attack centre. I think attack centre might be our choice, but what would we do with it? Could always use the artillery to fire down, otherwise it's all attacking on the right flank, and I'm not particularly bothered about that at the moment. That's just something that will just wait. Yeah, the problem is you don't really want to be wasting many of these, so we'll go with the attack the centre. No, I tell you what, let's go with probe the right flank. Get rid of it out of my hand, because it's just blocking up the hand at the moment. So what we'll do is we'll bring forward these. Oops. Stand up. Bring forward the Grenadier Guards and this line infantry unit as well. Now everything is out of range, that's them done. Right, French. Short supply, scout left flank, probe left flank, rally and probe centre. Well, let's follow up with what we were doing in the centre, I think. Probe centre again. So we can bring these ones forward. And then the line infantry will fire at the line infantry on the hill, only rolling 1 dice because they only 2 units -1. So that's a hit. So they've done some damage at least. And that's the French turn. Okay, Britain. Give them the cold steel, attack the right flank, leadership, attack the right flank, attack the centre, and probe centre. So they're building up those centre cards now. And again, what I might do is use up some of these right flank ones, just to, again, use them up really, just to get them out of hand. I think yes, that's we'll go with that. Attack the right flank. We'll come in here with the cavalry. Clip clop, clip clop. They will form square. So we'll just give the French cards a shuffle. Take one at random. Let's turn them into a nice square. Put the commander in the centre there. There we go, that's square one. So the square rolls, if it's a flag, the cavalry bounce off. They do bounce off, and they will bounce off here without actually attacking. And that's it for the British. That's all they were going to do. So the French are now down to 4 cards because they're in square. So probe left flank, short supply, rally, and scout left flank. Right, well, is it time to rally anything at this point? No, I don't think it is. We could always play the short supply and get those that unit away from their danger out there. That might be useful. They could always probe on the left flank as well. It's all a bit. It's not great at the moment. There's not a great deal of choices they can make. Yeah, let's go with probe the left flank and bring forward some of these other units here, I think, for now. Just get these all ready. The further forward I can move stuff, the better. And we'll bring forward these as well. Very cagey in this particular battle. So we've got give them cold steel, leadership, attack the right flank, attack the centre, probe the centre, and probe centre. Oof, well, again, not a great deal of choice really. I'm kind of wanting to hold on really as much as possible with what they've already got. They could take advantage of this unit being in square and firing at them. It's not going to do a great deal, so I don't think I will. It doesn't improve your chances any. Even the leadership is not going to be great. Can't do the cold steel, so we'll get rid of those straight away anyway. And we'll have a think the light can't fire at anything in the centre. Well, let's play probe the centre and at least fire with the light infantry there. So they're firing 6, -1 into the woods, so they're actually firing 5. Well, that's 3. That's a destroy. So that's a victory flag for the Allies. Excellent. So that was worthwhile doing. And again we have scout the left flank, rally, short supply, and probe the left flank. So it's everything going on the left flank. But the problem is I've got the cavalry over there, and I don't really want to be putting too many units into square if I can avoid it. Can't use short supply anymore on that because they got destroyed. Should have used it then. Rally is going to be useless because there's only 2 units that are damaged. So it might be scout the left flank actually. No, let's probe the left flank and move more units further forward again. Let's just get these edging forward. Put them in the woods actually, just for that little bit of protection. And that is a French turn. And British probe centre, attack right flank, cold steel, leadership, and cavalry charge. Well, that's going to be useful. We'll Well, we can forget that. Leadership is relatively useless at the moment. Cold steel we can't use because you have to be next to somebody. So we've got attacking the right flank, attacking the centre and probing the centre. Again, we're back to that, the position where all the French stuff is out of reach, and there's not a great deal they can do. So they'll play cavalry charge, activate that cavalry, but the cavalry will stay where it is and not do anything, and that's it. Just wanted to get rid of that card out of their hand. And back with the French. Short supply, rally, scout left flank and cavalry charge. Exactly what they didn't need. The cavalry are too far back to actually do anything to make use of cavalry charge, so we can forget about that. Short supply, again, pretty useless. They've got rally and scout the left flank, so we're going to scout the left flank, and what we're going to do is bring forward this artillery. And that is going to be the French turn. So they take 2 cards. Don't really know why I do this when I take the scout card, but we take 1 and discard 1. And back with the Brits. You watch everything in the centre. So we've got probe centre, attack the right flank, give them cold steel, leadership, and bombard. 4 or fewer artillery units, which is what they've got. They've only got 1 artillery unit, so that will be useless. But they could play that to get rid of it. I'm kind of at the moment just waiting for the French to come forward, really, because there's not a great deal the Brits want to do. I don't want them to move out of their position. So yeah, we'll use bombard and do nothing with it. They are waiting, as are the French. So the Frenchy French. Rally, short supply, cavalry charge, the grand manoeuvre. Well, this might be interesting. Issue an order to 4 or fewer units or leaders. Orders units or leaders may take a strategic move up to 4 hexes. Infantry unit in square may not be ordered. Ordered units may not battle. That is kind of probably what we've been waiting for. So 4 units can move up to 4 hexes. That is probably pretty perfect for getting this middle line back, I think. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. They can't battle, but it gets them in position to do so next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get some of these units right up. This is kind of what the French have been waiting for at this point. These 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want to get everything up as much as possible, really, if I can. And that's all those. We've got these 1, 2, 3. We can push these. Well, we could even get these in. 1, 2. Let's get them into position as well. That is the card that they were waiting for. So that might change things a little bit.